Alright, in this video we're going to be looking at the basics of PHP. And before we even begin writing any code, I want you to make sure you have your WAMP server running or your example, whichever stack you're using, make sure it's up, it's running. And once that is, functioned properly, ensure that the script you're writing to is saved in your www folder in your WAMP server directory. So once you have that in place, we can now begin writing code. But before you write code, let's just think about the basics here. The basics, this is just, I'm going to run through the stuff you need to know. Before we begin writing applications and so on, just get yourself familiar with first principles, just the bottom stuff, the bottom underlying stuff, right? Now, the first thing we're going to look at are comments. And in PHP, there are two ways of writing comments. You can use the two forward slashes, and you can say, well, we know comments are used to really highlight what a specific portion of code is doing. So, and it's a good programming practice to put comments in your code. So it's convention and so on. So, if I want to say like this function does whatever, then I can say that with that, or I can do it like this. This function does something, right? And then you put your asterisk and you so these are the two ways of writing comments in PHP. And this is it's good. So whenever you're writing code, like you're writing your scripts and so on, it's good to put comments there. So like when you check back later down the road, you're gonna see what the code was doing and so on. It's gonna be, trust me, it helps. The second thing we're gonna look at are variables. Now, variables are like containers that store information. And in PHP, you write a variable by simply using the $sign. That's how you do it. You put the $sign and then the name of the variable. So I can say like $sign first underscore name, and then I can assign it to, let's say, string John, and that is how you write a variable. Now you can take out the underscore, or however you want to do it. Well, not however you want to do it, but we can go through that just now. Go to this website just now, but yeah. And lastly, we're gonna look at output. I'm just keeping it simple for you. Now, in PHP, the most basic way of outputting strings or outputting text is the echo command, right? So you gotta say, let's say that, so that we could produce our first hello world program. I can say echo hello world, save it, alright, and it's there. Right. Another way is using the print command, but developers don't really, I mean they use this, but echo is a much more recognized and popular command, so yeah, they stick with that. Let me take you to this website. Now this is W3 Schools. This website is gonna be like I want to say Bible, but this is gonna be where you come back to find whatever you want, information on anything in regards to PHP. Now you see the section, this is basic. I strongly suggest you run through everything here. Just run through all of this. Right? Take a notepad and a pen and write down the stuff you think you need to know. Right? I don't want to say go ahead and write down all of this stuff, because you might need to know all of it. But the basics, in terms of variables, right? You go to variables, and then you could, you may just take a pen and just write it down. No harm in doing that. You got the conditionals, you got if and else, you got switch, you got your loops, and you got functions. You want to see how to set up a function. It's right in. This is basic. I'm not gonna run through this because it's right here. And I mean, they give a nice explanation and so on. They give you examples, and you can run the examples. So I think this is pretty neat, just so you can go through this stuff. In the upcoming tutorials, what I plan to do is I'm going to prepare examples, and I'm gonna come and show you, and we're gonna run through these examples line by line to understand exactly what each line in the code is doing. Right? I'm not gonna do like, I mean, there are other tutorials out there where I can take 15-20 minutes and write a program or write a script out. Right? I mean, I'm not gonna do that. If you want to see tutorials like that, you can go and find the other channels out there. But my approach is to simply prepare certain examples beforehand and then come and run through them with you line by line, and yeah, I think that's gonna work. So I hope this tutorial was useful. This introductory tutorial with the basics. Again, run through all of this stuff. If you have any questions, comment below or drop me an email. Thank you and enjoy.